must kneel and pray for a favourable day.
I heard the Kedweni are marching!
Run to the gate!
Move those
Things will get hot. You'll see.
Stand a chance against it. I can feel it in my knuckles.
Zoltan, prepare the main gate.
You're quite the general, Zoltan.
Why not call me a bloody marshal? Cersei's got it into her head it's either me or Yarpen. We drew straws, and I lost. It's good you're up. Henselt will be here any minute.
Why? Would he be disappointed not to see me?
He'd be bloody depressed.
Henselt's experienced at waging wars too.
Experienced my arse. Once they stand beneath the walls, we'll douse them in hot oil and set them ablaze. Just do your part, and Kedweni heads will fly like fattened horseflies. The Kedweni are coming! They multiplied or what?
Time to give them a taste of hot oil.
There are valves in the cauldron sides. You need to clear them. I'll take the left side, you get the right.
Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings, Chapter 2. This is the quest Vergen Besieged. This is the end of Chapter 2 for Iorveth's path. And the first part here is we need to open up the valves to pour the hot oil on Henselt's army, which is horrifying. An act like that is incredibly brutal and gruesome. So, whatever. It's a video game. We're not doing this to real people, so whatever. I guess this might be a slight disclaimer on the video. The frame rate might be really wonky in the end result. I don't exactly know what the final video will look like in certain parts. The reason for that is my computer, while being incredible, well, in my opinion, being pretty good. I don't know. I also built things, so I'm slightly biased. Is not properly equipped to record this game at a really good frame rate when the game really gets going. When I mean that, I mean like larger forested areas. It's probably noticeable. When rain kicks in, it's not usually raining. It doesn't rain very often in this game, but it rains for a good amount of this quest. And there's a lot of enemies and friendly AI characters on screen, so the frame rate kind of tanked when I was recording it. So I don't know. If that bugs people, or if someone was legitimately wondering, that's why. My computer cannot handle recording this game like even above 30 frames when all that stuff gets going, but it doesn't happen often enough that it's that big of a deal. So I don't know. Blame Death Mold for summoning the rain with magic. Yeah, all you had to do there was retreat. If you did not retreat, Death Mode would kind of just rain lightning down on you until you died, or ran away. Yeah, right after the door closes, as you saw, there's a chance to rest or level up if you need it. You cannot meditate. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think I level up like, I don't know, I want to say like 4 times by the end of this video. This last part, you just get like level after level for doing not that much actually. It's just, since everything's happening at once. I guess you are ending a war. That probably sounds like it would be worth a lot of experience points in any sort of game. Alright. Here's a fun thing that you can do with this part. Unfortunately, you cannot kick those ladders down. What you can do is cast the Ard Sign on enemies at the right time, which I don't know when that actually is, but it will send them flying off the edge there. basically to the deaths. And the only way to progress in this area is to defeat all enemies that come up the ladder. They will eventually stop coming, but this part is kind of a mess. Not in the way, like, everything falls apart kind of mess. Mess like, look at all the dudes fighting here. And when you have one guy remaining and 20 other soldiers around him, nobody can get in and actually do anything. That's what I mean when it's a mess. It's a mess just because there's a ton of stuff. But you do get kind of lucky, and you don't really fight a lot of dudes at once unless you stand right at the ladder when they're coming up, because the first thing they'll do after that is draw their sword and try to attack you. And like I said, you can kind of thin the ranks a little by casting the Ard sign, and if they're near the edge, it will kind of just launch them. I think. Yeah. If you're gonna do that to a specific type of enemy, I would say do that to the guys with the two-handed swords. Just because they can block way more of your attacks than the guys using a sword with one hand can. No shield guys come up, I believe. So if you don't like dealing with them, you don't have to. Yeah, if you have the adrenaline bar power, it's handy because it can instantly kill up to 3 enemies, I believe. It depends on how close they are. Yeah, I don't believe they can be knocked off the edge until they start to draw their sword. And you should have enough. You should be able to recover vigor fast enough to continuously use magic if that's your thing. I'm sure the charm, or not the charm, not the charm, actually, I always called it a hex. That would probably be pretty helpful here, have the enemies just turn on each other. But it's not something I used. If it's something that you, the viewer, uses, by all means. Yeah, so at this point, there's just so many people fighting. You can't even try to get in and get an attack off. So you just kind of walk off and let them do it.
Those Kitwenny rags. They won't give up easily. They'll return if they're thick as bricks. To find bricks falling on their heads.
So about half. Well, okay, we're not. Yeah, I'd say we're about halfway through actually getting the full quest done. I believe this is the second wave. Yeah, the objective marker still says defend Vergen's walls. I do kind of wish you could kick the ladders down, kind of like Resident Evil, like in Resident Evil 4 and 5. I don't know, just do extra damage, but I don't know, this game's not meant. I don't think the engine's meant to do those kinds of calculations. There's not really fall damage, it's just more, if an enemy falls, it's basically dead. I don't know, I'm rambling. Don't listen to that part. Yeah, the AI is not perfect in this game. It's not in any game, so. Launching off the edge like that's always fun. Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work, and I know sometimes I still feel like they have to actually have their sword drawn, but sometimes they don't seem to go. I don't know what kind of bomb I threw to do that. I want to say Dragon Dream, but that doesn't sound right. Actually, it might be. I think I just equipped all the bombs I had and just used them. Yeah, you need to do this sequence a few times. And by few, I want to say 3 exactly. There's, I believe it's only twice like this in the rain, and then I believe it's once more when you come back from doing another task. Pretty sure the second wave here is almost done, but I'll never be too sure. Why would Geralt grab the end of his sword in his hand? That seems very counterintuitive. Having the adrenaline meter fill up for every sword hit, or fill up, I don't know, it's like 1 to 2% for every every melee attack I make that hits. Comes in handy in this part of the game specifically, because there's just so many dudes you have to fight.
Well, it wasn't easy.
Here's my water.
But seeing those ruffians run was worth the effort.
They'll be back. They're as stubborn as a dwarven farmer.
But their balls are much smaller.
I need your help, Witcher.
I'm hearing that more often lately.
Seems you're irreplaceable. Listen, tunnels run beneath the town and connect the keep with the dwarven mines.
Who knows about them?
Almost no one, but I decided to secure them anyway and sent a detachment of scouts. None of them returned.
If Henselt discovered the passage, he's got us.
A bloody gentle way to put it.
If they attack from
Yeah,
two sides,
so
we won't hold the fortress.
obviously, as they're talking about,
Now's
you
the
now
perfect
need to
time.
explore the
Hensel's men
tunnels
lick their wounds like flogged
that could
bitches.
theoretically
They'll
compromise.
need about an hour to regroup troops
the
and
entire
set up
fight
formation
here.
for another assault. Let's not waste time. I'll come with you.
You shouldn't go. It's too dangerous.
I thought you more keen. Since when do I avoid danger? The defenses are well prepared. Everyone knows their task. Besides, we'll make it in time.
And
I
Saskia
probably
is
will
determined to
sign a
go,
troop of men.
so
I won't
there's
reform
no way
ranks
around that
now.
part.
This formation is effective. If they don't
not like
strike
she can
suddenly
die
from the mines,
or anything.
we should hold through the siege.
You're in charge. Lead on.
So,
You surprise me more and more.
if you
I
didn't
thought
like
we'd
going
just
into
stay
the
out of-
mines earlier in this chapter,
Politics.
this isn't nearly as bad, but you still
Let's hurry.
gotta do it.
I stand on
Nobody
Zoltan's
else.
side.
Maybe they have a sort of
It's not nearly
Would
as
you join
long,
him
but
if they
you
fought
do
in
still
your
go into the
Wenny
mines,
banner?
and
No
it is still
dwarf will
incredibly
fight for
dark,
Henselt.
because they're the mines. If you played Roach's Path, the part of the mines you're in is the set of mines that you try to sneak into Vergen with, through. This part is not normally accessible, I believe, on Iorveth's Path. I believe this is the
I'll
only
take
time that you go
Stay
into it.
behind me, Saskia.
A chivalrous witcher. Another surprise.
The world's upside down.
Yeah. I know what's coming ahead, so I'm trying to get a chance to meditate and drink a couple potions. I do specifically the attack potion, and possibly a healing potion. Like, especially since my health has not properly recovered from the part where you defend the walls. I believe now I can rest once combat ends. Or do I run back a bit? Oh, no, it's good. Okay, so I'm out of cat potions, so obviously I can't use one. Oh well, it's not too bad. You don't spend a ton of time here. And the main event that happens here is in an illuminated room, so you can easily see in it. I believe it's just there's a couple soldiers and a few rock fiends to fight in here. Not a lot else. So yeah, imagine going through the mines without using the cat potion and only having the lantern light to fight all the enemies in and find. And they don't have, and the rock fiends, they don't have lanterns on them like these guys do. It's incredibly convenient because at least you can see spinning light when they attack. The rock fiends, you just see the targeting reticule or the lock-on just show up. Yeah, more of that adrenaline bar. Hindsight, I maybe should have saved it for the next part, but it recharges quickly enough. It does not cause a problem.
Come on!
Oh yeah, my silver sword now has a freeze effect on enemies. So there's a chance that they'll be frozen solid, and then one more attack after that point will shatter them. Although I believe that's something built up over time, or that just might be what happens when you kill a frozen creature. And I believe the frozen rock fiends do not create the cloud of poison. So that's always a help, or that's always helpful. Now, on to the main reason why we came into these tunnels, is to stop death mode from showing up.
My lord will.
Well, he's already here, so...
You'll take them by surprise.
Okay, we're to stop death mode from advancing further.
Vergen is in danger, and the Virgin of Edern roams the caves with a witcher. I understand. Your cherry is aching, and thoughts turn to pleasure before death. Kill them.
Now you see why having the adrenaline meter might be a little better in this area than using on those two soldiers earlier, but I forgot how many people were actually in this fight. And most of them are concentrated on Saskia anyways, so it's usually not that big of a deal. Nothing definitely kind of amusing. I don't believe the shield death one will go down, or it doesn't go down until everyone or all the other enemies are gone, I believe. So yeah, just watch out for death mode, and if you hear kind of the sound of like a fire, never mind. You just have to get to this scene here. And I'll admit, the first time I saw this part, I legitimately did not see this coming. This entire part here, because This is nuts. Yeah. Saskia is a dragon. Could not have seen that coming at all. I don't think it's physically possible to know that was going to happen unless you already knew.
I know a woman is flighty, but to that scale?
Now you know my greatest secret. I had no choice. They would have killed you.
A dragon appeared during the siege of the Lavalets castle.
I was
Oh, yeah.
helping Arian Lavalette.
She was also the dragon from the beginning of the
Why?
game.
He fought against tyranny and its transgressions.
Funny how
I
things work
understood
out
him
like that.
very well. Vergen could have used someone like him.
Does anyone else know?
Deathmold.
I meant allies.
Also,
Iorveth.
I guess
Iorveth
fun little
invented the
fact.
whole Dragon
I think this
Slayer
is
story.
true.
He believes Eden needs someone like me, and someone like me needs a legend.
I believe she
He was right.
mentions that her father is a golden dragon. I believe
Now I understand how you could combat
if you
such
talk
powerful
to
toxin.
what are they called, like the
Philippa
Crimson
is a
Reavers
great
or something at the
sorceress.
very beginning of the game,
Even she could
during the
not save you if
prologue,
you were human.
they tell a
You're a
story
witcher, so you know a lot
about
about us.
fighting a gold dragon. I believe the gold dragon they're talking about is actually her father.
My father was a knight with bright eyes. He treated life like a beautiful adventure. He loved humans and
I believe.
tried
I
to
could be
understand them.
wrong.
Thanks to him, I believe
Yeah,
every
it's
man is
kind of a
equal,
neat little thing.
and liberty shouldn't be peddled. Father claimed the world to be filled with chaos and order. Chaos equals aggression. Order is the defense against it.
Excuse me.
to him.
He taught me to live among humans and moved on. Dragons do that.
If a dragon helped Vergen's
Yeah,
defenders,
dragons
Hansel
in
wouldn't
the
stand a chance.
world of The Witcher are kind of different
thought
from
about that.
any other
But
dragon
what would happen to
in
Atha
any
Eder
other
when the
world.
dust settles?
I don't believe dragons have ever had the
Can't
ability
foresee
to
everything.
transform into
You
humans.
know how the world treats freaks as well as I do.
I mean,
But
they
if Vergen
typically
falls,
don't.
Your ideals will
Uh,
be vanquished. Maybe averting that is worth the sacrifice.
Let's for a
I
moment
guess also in
assume
this
I
world,
revealed
dragons
my
are
dual
kind of the
nature.
one creature that's not
Who
really
would
hunted
lead
by
Atha
anyone,
Eder?
not even
You
witchers,
see a replacement for me?
It's hard to
because
imagine one that
nobody
compares to
messes
you.
with. You
Dwarves
don't want to
will
mess with a
support their
dragon.
own candidate, elves theirs, and humans will start looking for a king. That's why I must ask you to
Kind of
keep this
good
knowledge
advice.
to yourself.
Don't fight
we'll
dragons.
have to deal with Henselt without a dragon's help, and we will.
This is that Skyrim
Also
game.
thanks to you.
Kind of can't avoid
I'll
it.
never forget what you're doing for Eden.
But then again, a
no matter
game like
your
that
reasons,
makes
Witcher.
dragons
go.
not a challenge whatsoever.
Defenders need you.
After a while, I believe. So now you have one more, I guess one more cycle of defending the walls of Vergen. But now the rain stopped because Deathmole left. He's the one that made it. So now I have better frame rate. A bit.
What happened while I was gone, Zoltan?
The fun is about to begin. Herdsman Henselt personally leads all his cattle.
We'll win. Is that all?
Excuse me.
Got unexpected guests.
Who?
I think one of them's a she. Ugly like shite after winter, but she's good tits. You should have seen our lads' faces when those eyesores entered the courtyard.
Did they say why they went to help us?
Wizard good. Wizard's foe is troll's foe.
Yeah, so the trolls have also showed up to help, if you didn't kill them
Good.
early
We
in the
want to
chapter.
create a land without prejudice.
When news that Henselt will personally lead the assault spread,
It kind of makes sense that
fell into the gutter.
this
Tell
this
them,
this
Zoltan, that if they don't believe
the
in
town
victory,
Vergen
they
is supposed
might as
to
well
stand
fly
for
a white
equality, and
flag.
just like Geralt
tried,
said, it's
but
supposed
they
to stand
still
for
look
equality and stuff. That
Gather the
well,
defenders, Zoltan.
that includes.
Why so quiet? I thought you'd be merry. King Henselt himself will honor us with a visit.
We're all going to die.
We can't repel the attack.
Henselt is invincible.
We won't be fighting mere minions, but their king. And the king himself will have to recognize our victory. Could a soldier dream of better than defeating a monarch? Or maybe you're afraid to fight. Maybe we should fly a white flag. It's so simple. Henselt will quickly set up his order here. Inns will be marked humans only. Dwarves will choke in the mines. Elves will perish, hunted in the forests. Lords will slaughter peasants because they didn't bow low enough. Is that the land you want to leave to your children?
No!
Never!
You're shitting bricks because Henselt is coming! Who is he? A god? No. He has arms, legs, and blood, as red as any of ours. If he dares to cross these walls, then we'll gladly spill some of it.
Yes!
Get Henselt!
Long live Saskia!
Many of you won't see the light of dawn again. Many won't return to your women or drink with friends. But we will care for and honor their graves when they enter the earth. Adernian earth. Those who survive will live with their heads held high, for only such a life makes sense. Now, to arms and to the walls, let's show Henselt real war!
Excuse me. I felt I should have stayed quiet before that speech that I forgot about. Yeah, I believe this Defend the Walls segment is actually much shorter than the previous two. And yeah, we're basically done in chapter 2. Everything else you do is kind of scripted and there's no fighting for the rest of it. Hey, you can see your toys fighting. That's cool. Those adrenaline moves look amazing, as they usually do. They're super flashy looking. Yeah, I believe this might be it for me. Yep. Wait, no.
Terrorists, murderers, a death squad. Or freedom fighters in an uneven battle, noble in their suffering. It all depends on your point of view. I helped Iorveth. I gave him my trust. I joined Saskia and took the side of the rebels, their new values and ideals. Time will tell if I was right. One thing is sure. Elves are the best archers who have ever walked this earth.
Iorveth, that's what I call an entrance.
I have to admit, the squirrel has style.
Not all is lost. We need to cut off Henselt's escape.
What are you talking about? He looks as if he likes it here.
He'll change his mind. Join Iorveth and shut the main gate.
Yarpen says Deathmold's magic damaged it.
Yarpen knows fuck all about gates. Cover my arse and I'll close it.
The fate of the battle hangs on it, dwarf.
There's no bloody gate that Zoltan Chive can't close.
Yes, sir!
Iorveth, we need to get to the main gate, now.
Admit it. You thought I wouldn't come back, Gwynblade?
You're hellishly good. We need to stop Henselt from retreating.
And then force him to try it.
There's no time to waste. To the gate!
Done!
They're cut off like sitting ducks.
Maybe they'll surrender.
Sire, your orders. We surrender.
The battle is over, King.
You won, and the victors state their terms.
You know my terms. You will relinquish Eden and sign an act of unconditional surrender in which you'll promise your troops will never cross the Pontar.
Is that all?
You'll pay war reparations and recognize the free realm of Upper Eden with Saskia of Vergen at its head.
What about me and my men? What awaits us?
Freedom. It's a great thing. Look how many of my soldiers died defending it.
How much do you want?
We'll discuss the war reparations in detail at Loch Muin before esteemed witnesses. There's one thing Saskia didn't mention.
I'm listening.
Since the dawn of time, wars were, are, and will yet be. One side wins, the other loses. But military conflict should be carried out under chivalrous rules and laws.
What's your point, sorceress?
War criminals, including Deathmold, must be punished.
I need an advisor.
War criminals must be punished.
You'll have a new advisor. Sheila de Tanzaville.
Has this witch gone mad?
It's a necessary condition.
Deathmold committed a crime and he must be punished.
As you wish.
Execute him.
Don't allow them to harass me like a dog! You'll see how a real sorcerer dies, foolish whores!
swear an oath and you'll walk free.
Who am I negotiating with anyway?
Philippa, Eilhart and I speak with one voice.
Be wary of the sorceresses. They often forget whose perch is higher.
Philippa is my advisor.
We await your decision, King.
I, King Henselt, Lord of Kedwin, swear before witnesses that I will relinquish Adarnian borders. I recognize Saskia of Vergen's reign in the realm of the Pontar Valley, and I swear to pay war reparations in the amount agreed upon at Loch Muin.
You're free.
Show the king the way out. It's time to go, Saskia.
Yes.
I don't like it.
What?
Saskia. I know her well. She's never behaved like that.
Her eyes look as if she's taken Fistek.
I assure you, she doesn't use it. Let's follow them. They disappeared.
A teleport.
Let's search Eilhart's house. She was in a hurry. Maybe she left something. Let's take a look.
Iorveth, over here. I've got something.
What is it?
A tome of potion recipes.
We've no time to read books.
Sorceresses carefully guard books like this.
Not that carefully. After all, she left it behind.
She was in a hurry.
Could this book have anything to do with the Dragon Slayer?
Most things in this land seem to have something to do with Saskia, the dragon.
How do you know?
She told me.
Then keep your mouth shut, Gwynblade, because if...
I know what will happen if they learn, Iorveth. I've found Thomidor's recipe.
Eilhart already told us the ingredients for mage pain. How's it relevant?
Usually the recipe for an antidote is right next to the one for the poison.
I can recite it exactly. Royal blood, an immortelle, a dragon's dream, and petals from a rose of remembrance.
Yet this book doesn't even mention a rose of remembrance.
I recall perfectly that Eilhart said a rose of remembrance combined with an immortelle heals the mind.
What if she lied? Maybe it doesn't heal the mind, but influences it. Philippa passed the flower to Saskia through a kiss, the symbol of love and perdition.
I'm confused.
I think Philippa subjugated Saskia's mind by adding the rose to the antidote.
I'll kill that bitch.
Philippa has magic and an obedient dragon at her command. She could have a strong influence on the conference.
But what does she want?
We can only learn that in Loch Muin.
Let's go then, Gwynblade.
Geralt! Saskia's disappeared. People are getting riled.
Dwarves, too!
Saskia's gone to the summit that's supposed to re-establish the Council and Conclave. She wants the kings assembling at Loch Muin to recognize Vergen's independence.
The lass has got gumption.
But everything will go to hell without her. We showed Henselt his place. But what of it if everything falls apart now? Someone's got to bring these folks together. Without that, it'll have been a hollow victory.
I'm going after Saskia, with Iorveth. Everything suggests those responsible for Foltest's death will be at Loch Muin.
Some still say you killed him.
I've got to stop that drivel. Don't have a choice, but you do.
The elite of the North is gathering at Loch Muin. I couldn't forgive myself if I wasn't there. It'd be a sin against art.
The art of poking your nose in others' business.
You'll be needed here until Saskia returns. Order must prevail. There can be no strife. The victory over Henselt was an important step, but only the first on a long road.
The hymn I composed could help.
Vergen will need many more songs.
I certainly hope our paths will cross again, Geralt of Rivia.
Stop dramatizing. You can be sure of that. We've got unfinished business of our own.
Huh? Oh, aye.
Let's go then, Gwynblade.
Sheila de Tanserville. I'd sensed from the start that some dark mystery lay behind that cold countenance. Following the demise of the Council and Conclave, there was no one left to keep the mages in line. But regicide? Why? What was this all about? It seemed these questions would be answered at Loch Muin, an ancient city amidst mountains, the remnants of the civilization of the Vrans, whose dusk had come long ago. And you would be right to ask, why did you not set out for Loch Muin, Master Dandelion? Vergen was free, yet what is freedom without its awareness? It might too easily pass from hand to hand were a nation to lack individuals capable of pointing the way. I remained in the Pontar Valley. That is the task fate seemed to assign me, to safeguard freedom as it budded and bloomed. Who knows, I may yet prove freedom's bard. Yet forever feeling a vast, shared responsibility for the fate of the North, I dispatched to Loch Muin my faithful and capable friend, Geralt of Rivia. Have I mentioned his disdain for politics? Well, it was at Loch Muin where he could finally give vent to it.